In this video we'll be showing you the brand new NC20 IX friction banknote counter. So this comes from a range of machines. This is the top of the range machines. The only difference between this machine and the lower spec machines is the amount of detection systems and functions it has. So we'll show you on the top of the range. Obviously if you don't need some of the functions, you may want to look at some of the lower spec machines, but there's not a great deal of price difference, so it doesn't make sense really to go for the NC20 IX. So this machine here is a 2021 model, and the outgoing model didn't have as many displays and looks slightly different to this. So this has a standard remote display which is LED, ideal for showing up on CCTV, etc. Has a side LED display, and it also has buttons on it which allow you to use the same functions you've got on the top but also on the side. And then the last feature it has is an LCD display, so an operator display, easier to see, and this also has the ability to be able to tilt backwards and forwards and also rotate as well, so it can be rotated all the way around depending on how you want to use it. So this is ideal for left or right-handed users, and as you can see, it can be used from the front, the side, the other side, and these displays can be positioned for customers as required. So using the machine and the functionality, very easy to use. Very small keyboard here on the top of it, and it's designed really to be set up so that once you've made your parameter settings or your settings that you want, you don't have to change them again, and all you do is just use the machine. So using the machine, I've got this set in free count at the moment, an auto mode. Simply place my notes in the machine. The sensor will detect that the notes are here and start the machine. And here you can see we've got 39 notes. So that's the most basic format. Again, a single button press on the top. I can change it from auto to manual. So this allows you now to be able to place the notes in the machine, flip them over, and the machine will not start until you press the restart button. It's up to you whether you want to use it this way. And the machine will simply count in exactly the same way. The next feature this machine has is an add feature. So I'll put this back into auto, but it could be in manual if you wanted to, and simply press the add button. Now this is ideal if you've got a large volume of notes that won't fit in the machine at any one time. So take your notes, place the add feature on, count your notes, take another batch or your next batch of notes, in this case obviously I'm using the same notes, and here you can see that it adds up the two values of both batches, and we'll continue to do this until you've counted all your notes. So the next feature this machine has is a forgery detection system. So it will actually look for the presence of the security features in the notes. So for example, if a suspect note has a missing UV element to it, so in other words fluoresces, or the magnetic thread is missing out of the note, or simply the thickness is incorrect, this machine can spot it. So simply turn off the add and put on the UV, IR and MG. And as you can see, these features can be used independently of each other as required. Particularly useful as some Scottish banknotes don't have an MG element to them, so it allows you to be able to use the machine in just UV mode and count it accordingly. So in this case I'm going to place a suspect note within the pile of notes that I've just counted. We've got the UV on, I've got the MG and IR, so it's looking for all three systems. Place the notes in the machine, and here you can see it's come up with NN9, which is a MG detection. Simply have a look at this note, and now we can then further inspect this note, and we can see that this note here, although a Scottish banknote, is actually a counterfeit banknote and doesn't contain any MG element to it. This note can then simply just be removed, press the restart, and it will continue carrying all the notes, counting all the notes. Next feature this machine has, as I mentioned before, you can actually use this machine with the detections in whichever format you want. So in this case I can just show you turning these off, and I'm going to leave the DD on. So the DD is a size detection system. So what this will actually do is it will spot a smaller note that's mixed in with larger notes. So in this case I've actually done away with the mix of cotton and 20 polymer notes that I've been using, because obviously they're different sizes. Take my polymer notes, but it could be cotton, place them in the machine. Here we can see it's popped up and said DD on all three displays, and here we can see that there is now a £5 note mixed in with the £20 notes. Simply remove that note and press the restart, and the notes will still carry on being counted. Now all these detection systems and the size detection have the ability to be able to, for the operator to be able to change the sensitivity of them all through the keyboard, so no special skills needed. So if you're finding that you can be tight or put the notes in correctly so that they're feeding correctly, then you can adjust it so that it will spot more or less depending on how you're using the machine. It's entirely up to yourself. So as I mentioned, this is an NC20 IX machine. It's the top of the range of the machines in the basic range of machines that a full range that we do. So this features IR, UV and MG forgery detection systems, where it looks for the presence of elements within the note. It has the DD, which spots smaller notes mixed in with larger notes. It has a batch facility as well, which allows you to be able to count a certain amount of notes. So we could simply put these notes in the machine and it will actually stop on a selected amount that you required, whether that be 20, and it has the standard default ones in, so 100, 50, 20 and 10. But you can also adjust it, so if you wanted 14 notes you can also do that as well. And as I said, the main feature over the old 2020 model, which you can still see on our website, is the ability to have the three displays. So it has a top LCD display, an LED at the side, which also allows you to use the functions on here as well. So we can change the functions from either here or here, and also a remote display as well. Thank you for watching our video.